Hey everyone! So we are here with another movie review coming at you, and today we're going to be talking about The Two Popes, which we saw kind of catching up on some films here and there during this era of quarantine. So anyway, yes, The Two Popes. Um, Orlando did not see all of it, but he's going to talk about what he did see. And then I did see all of it, so I'm going to talk about all of it. Okay, so The Two Popes follows Pope Benedict and Pope Francis as they transitioned from, Pope Benedict stepped down as Pope, and then Pope Francis took his place. So that is what the film is about. It took place. It takes place like right after Pope John Paul II's death, as they prepare to vote in a new pope, and it seems like it's between Pope Benedict and Pope Francis. They're the ones that get Pope Benedict is like in first place, and then Pope Francis is in second place, with Pope Benedict ultimately becoming the Pope, and then he steps down. Pope Francis takes his place, and so the majority of the film takes place in Rome no, actually not in Rome, in the summer vacation home of the popes. I forgot where that is. Sorry. But at this point, Cardinal Bergoglio, who goes on to become Pope Francis, is looking to resign as cardinal, and he and Pope Benedict essentially have this weekend of bonding and getting to know each other, and it's Pope Benedict convincing Pope Francis essentially to not retire so that he can step up as Pope once Pope Benedict drops the bombshell revelation that he's stepping down as Pope. That was a really long explanation. I apologize about that, but it was like I didn't know how to explain it. But yeah.
Yeah, so I think I caught maybe the back half of it. Um, but from what I saw, I felt like some of the best moments in this movie were the flashbacks. The flashbacks into Pope Francis, Pope Francis's past, and all the stuff he dealt with, getting to where he's at now. Um,
Yeah, it's called The Two Popes, but it's really the story of Pope Francis and like his life story essentially, because the flashbacks are all dealing with him, how and his life, how he grew up, the things he experienced as a member of the clergy in Argentina before becoming cardinal, and then finally ultimately Pope. The flashback scenes of the film were definitely strong. I feel like they were the strongest parts of the film, the most
yeah.
interesting parts of the film. Um, the actual conversations between the two popes, I they were fantastically acted. Anthony Hopkins and Jonathan Pryce as the two popes, both of them were fantastic. But I just wasn't as interested in those moments as I was in
Yeah.
the flashbacks of Bergoglio's life before becoming Pope Francis.
No, I would say part of the thing was like Anthony Hopkins did great. Um,
Jonathan Pryce.
Jonathan Price was great. As much as I want to not like him, he did great. Um, but the way the script is written, their scenes are just conversation. So it became too conversational, where you're just continuously just watching two people talk, when the flashbacks are actually showing you what's going on and what happened. Um, Yeah, I wanted to hate Jonathan Price because I'm still very much all right. We're gonna cast a white dude to play this Argentinian, but he
And
looks the part. So I guess in
yeah,
this case,
he looks exactly or almost exactly like Pope Francis. So I mean I get it, and yeah, but
yeah,
yeah, the I mean, from what I understand, the film isn't. I mean, it is a Hollywood film, so it's to be expected, but it's not very. Uh, it's a highly fictionalized event. This conversation never happened between the two of them, and there was like this. There is like disagreements between the two of them in terms of their beliefs. Um, yes, Pope Francis is a little bit more quote unquote liberal, if that's what you want to call him, than Pope Benedict. But yeah, I lost my train of thought.
you were talking about the.
You can say something
Well,
now.
see, I enjoyed the story a lot. I enjoyed the story about Pope Francis. I, however, have not read the history, so I don't know the validity of how much of it is true and how much of it is fiction. But I mean, that's just film. You can only do so much with truth. So, what was given and what was presented was great. I just wish there was more flashback aspects. I would have loved more flashbacks of uh, Pope Benedict. I would have like you touched upon that. Like for a film called Two Popes, it felt very much about one pope. I would have loved to know the history of both popes, leading to their conversations and why each believes what they do.
The film itself is beautiful. Like it's a very very simple film in the sense that there isn't like the way it's shot and like cinematography wise, it's very simple, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it is beautiful. The shots and the set dressing and everything is isn't beautiful. It is the acting. It's like a masterclass in acting, which is to be expected because both of
Yeah.
these two actors are like incredible. So I mean, they're fantastic, and the actor that played young Bergoglio in the flashbacks, he's fantastic as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I mean, you're up against Anthony Hopkins and Jonathan Price. He managed to stand out even with those two powerhouse actors.
Yeah. So I mean, it is a good film, but I I don't know, especially compared to some of the ones it was up against last year for Oscars. I don't know that I would have nominated it for Best Picture. Again, compared to like some of the films it was nominated against. The acting nominations, yes, for sure.
Yeah. Even
Um,
cinematography.
Cinematography wise, yeah. Um, I mean, check it out. Just be aware that it is a very conversational film, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I've seen plenty of conversational films and have enjoyed them. There was something about this one, though, that maybe it was because we had those flashbacks to contrast with like the slower moments that I wanted to go more to the flashbacks rather than these like slower conversational moments. Um, but just be aware that that's what the film is. It's not like action and adventure or
Yeah.
anything like that.
No, the small bits of action are in a flashback because of the history, but that's it. I mean, the rest is you're hearing two people talk.
And again, that's not a bad thing, but for me, I think that's what it was. It was just like the flashbacks were so engaging that whenever we came back to the current time, I was kind of like, why can't we just stick to what we were watching right now?
Yeah. And I mean, even the conversation moment still has some good moments.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
one of my favorite scenes is when they eat pizza. And it's just Anthony Hopkins and Jonathan Pryce being who they are and making this scene about eating pizza amazing.
Yeah. So check it out if you want. It's on Netflix. And catch you later.